It's the movie that reminded me that, yes, we used to call people from France frogs. What? The Walk stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Philippe Petit, a French wire walker who stunned everybody by sneaking to the top of the World Trade Centers and doing a tightrope walk from one to the other. This is a true story and has been documented in a documentary even just a couple years ago, a really good one, I should mention. So I don't think there's a lot of spoilers here to say any of that. This is an incredible story. Let's just start there, because the idea that this man was able to do this, not just the dexterity of actually doing the walk, but also of getting to the top, running the wire, doing it without being noticed, it's mind-blowing, and this tells you kind of all the ins and outs of how that happened and the people that were involved. And even just because of that, it's a movie worth watching, either this or the documentary, just to know the story of this man and kind of what he did. Incredible, incredible stuff. Beyond that, is it a good movie? I think it's a pretty good film. Let's talk about Joseph Gordon-Levitt, because he's going to be at the center of whether or not you like this and whether or not you buy his performance. I had a hard time getting used to him as this French man. At the beginning, it felt like almost a Saturday Night Live impersonation, like it was JGL doing a French accent and trying to be this other character. But I think after I was able to kind of give into that, it actually works. I think he really does a good job with this. It's just hard sometimes to see somebody you know from other things and you know how they usually sound and go, oh, you're putting on an accent. You're acting. And of course he's acting. That's what he's being asked to do. And I think as you get into it, you kind of give yourself to the performance. And I think it does work overall. And he does such a great job with the actual stunt performances, those kind of things. The performances around him are really good in this movie. I think those work very, very well. The only thing about this movie, and it is a big one, that didn't work for me, is it sets up the entire movie in a first-person narration story. Probably half of this movie, if not more, is Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Philippe Petit talking to the camera about what's happening. I have issues with narration in general, even more so when it's most of the movie, and even more so when you're breaking the third wall and doing it visually. It just did not work for me. The talking to the camera in this took me out of it every time it happened, and it happened a lot. And I wanted them to show me the story more and try to tell me the story less. It's also a reason Joseph Gordon-Levitt's performance is a little harder to buy. And part of the reason I think I had a hard time getting into it is because he's breaking the third wall, talking directly to the audience, and all of those things kind of mess it up a little bit for me. I will say, this is as an aside, but I think it can determine whether or not you're going to really enjoy The Walk. If you see this in IMAX 3D, you are in for an experience. It is the most I have ever been scared of heights at a movie. I could not believe how real my body interpreted what was going on the screen because of the IMAX 3D, the big screen and the very well done 3D. I had those butterflies in my stomach. I felt in danger. I felt like I was, could get a little bit queasy. If you really struggle with heights and you see this in IMAX 3D, you are going to struggle with this. I want to give you fair warning. If that's exciting to you, to know what it would feel like to be up that high with just a wire between you and the ground, you're going to love this. What an experience. I would highly recommend the IMAX 3D for this movie if you're going to go out and see it and you can handle it, because the effect was absolutely incredible. Overall, The Walk is a really great story and a really good movie that all hinges on Joseph Gordon-Levitt's performance and whether or not you can buy into it. I did for the most part. I give it a B. Thanks for checking out this Your Movie Friend review. We'll get to the Best Ever Challenge here in a bit. Before we do that, though, I want to let you know, if you'd like to know more about what goes on in Your Movie Friend, a couple ways to do that. Number one, click the cards up there. There's links to other reviews, links to the website, yourmoviefriend.com. Also a link to support the channel if you so choose to do that. Appreciate it. You can also connect to me on Periscope. One of my favorite things right now, right after I get out of a movie, I'll fire up Periscope and talk to people live about my initial thoughts, take questions, kind of work out together what you want to know about these movies. So follow me on Periscope, AARONDICER. Just search for Aaron Dicer. You'll find me pretty quick. Also follow the podcast, subscribe to the podcast in iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you do podcasts. It's called SiftPop. SiftPop. It is the official podcast of Your Movie Friend. Get together with a couple friends every Friday and talk movies, television, some other pop culture stuff. It's a lot of fun. So subscribe to that. I'd appreciate it. All right, on to the best ever challenge. This is where you name the best movie ever in a particular category, and then also try to identify my choice. For this one, we're going with the best circus movie ever. Now, circus doesn't have to be at the center of it. It has to be a big part of it. And you may think, well, what's wire walking? Well, there's a lot of circus and juggling and different things in this movie as well. And wire walking, of course, is a circus act. I don't have to explain this. My best circus act movie ever is the one where there is a very heavy living creature that somehow manages to fly on very small wings. Spoiler alert. Take a guess at mine in the comments. Also leave yours. We'd love to discuss those too. And as always, here's 5 extra seconds to hit subscribe right down in this corner. Just click on the Your Movie Friend logo right here. Subscribe to the channel. 5 seconds.